thing is that it was going to be on Thursday. So we really had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to invite people. And there was considerable skepticism because we were being hosted by a tech global company with lots of young people. And they were like, how can John get people to come to this talk in 3 days? That's really hard to do. But because of what I stumbled upon with LinkedIn, I last fall I had about 100 connections in Minneapolis area, greater Minneapolis. And I gave a talk up here in December, and that's when I started doing this stumbled upon method. And it worked so well that I had then 300 or 400 by April when I did it again. And then 2 weeks ago, I looked and I had 550 first level connections. So I'd gone from 100 to 550 in a few months. Okay. And I'd really used this methodology that I'm going to talk about 3 times, where basically I said I was coming. Would you like to connect? And there's a little more to it. There's a lot more to it. That's what the class is about. The class boiled down is how to invite with reality and with purpose. Okay. And that works way better than just hitting the little connect button, which I never do. So anyway, boil it all down. The first thing that happened was Zach, one of the guys who were hosting, said, how is it that John added 200 connections yesterday? So like Tuesday. I think it was, 200. There's a little thing that sometimes LinkedIn shows me that my connections added a lot of connections, and it'll be 6 or 8 or 10. I never see anybody adding hundreds. So it was kind of funny because I added about 400, I guess, in the course of a week. So it depends on how they slice the 24 hours. And we had a nice full room, great time. We had a great time. So the point is that when you have a network, you can do things like that, because they were very skeptical that we could fill the room, and we had a great time. It was the previous best was about a dozen. So when the first time I met up here in Minneapolis, I think we had like 4 people. The next time we had about 6 people I think I did something in January or February. In April, we had about a dozen, and this time we had 30. I mean, that's amazing, right? And, it's not making me a fortune or anything, but it's fun. It's much more fun to have a group together. Okay, so if you want to have fun, let's build your list. And so now that you've gotten the sort of why, well, I tried a lot of different things. I thought my history slide was coming up sooner. Okay, here comes my history slide. So I started LinkedIn in 2003, and it was really hard to break through because I was one of the first 50,000 in the world, and whenever I'd look anybody up, they weren't there. It's as simple as that. And so it took me a long time. And I took a class with Wayne Breitbarth, and he's, I'll keep mentioning him. I'll mention him every time because he really helped me a lot. And he one of the things I learned was that you might want more connections than just organic, because a certain number of people. It's not really that many. It's just not. I mean, it's a couple of dozen that, if you called up and said, my house just burned down, can I come over and stay with you for a while? It's not very. So is that all you want? Well, if you want to give a speech, or if you want to sell a book, or if you want to post an article and influence your industry, or if you want to get a job, you really want a little bigger network than that. And one of the great reasons that Wayne pointed out was, whatever you want to do, the bigger your network, the more likely they are to be a second level connection. So I've found, every now and then I want to get connected. I want to talk to somebody in a company. And when you have a big network and you look up a company, there's always a few connections. They might be second, they might be third, but there's always somebody. It just doesn't happen anymore that I look up somebody in direct marketing and they're not a second level connection. It's almost impossible because I have like 6 million, I think it was over 7 million now, first, second, and third level connections. Anyway, I also learned from Wayne that I could download my connections. If you connect on a first level, you're like agreeing to connect. And one of the things is I give you my email. I'm agreeing to let you have my email, which implies you can connect with me on email, and you give me yours. If you don't like that, then don't connect. I tell people. I had one guy complain because I violated CAN spam, and it turned out I didn't have my street address on my email. That was my only violation. But I did remove. I unilaterally unsubscribed all my friends in the EU, and that's on one of my LinkedIn posts about preparing for the GDPR. But the point is I sent out these emails, and up until last fall, I'd get I did one this week, and I don't think I even got a dozen unsubscribes. I mean, I got very, very few. I sent out 4,200 emails, and I got, maybe 10, 12. And I wrote to some of them, and they said, no, sorry, I didn't realize you actually were real. I am real, yes. I'm a real person, and I do real videos, and I do real, my emails. I got one reply saying it wasn't formatted very well. Try and format something that's going to work on your big screen laptop, on a tablet, and on a phone tipped 2 different ways. It's not that easy. So after a while, I get sick of testing it, and I just send it out. And, it's part of the reality of it. If you want perfect emails, go sign up with a spammer. I'm not a spammer. I'm a real person, and I do my best. Anyway, the list wasn't growing, and my connections were growing, and the lists were getting smaller. So it was very disconcerting. And so here, I think, is coming up. I hit the page down. I'm getting a lot of spinning here. So here's the number of names I put up over time, and you can see that's that's cool. Look at that cursor. Sometimes the cursor appears and sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, so in 2012, I lost a big client, musician's friend. I got a call a year later from one of the guys who'd founded it. He said, "Did they actually test against you before they kicked you out?" I said, "No, they did a back test," which in statistical terms means they can keep all the tweaky variables that were probably spurious correlations. But anyway, they kicked me out. He said the results have really gone to garbage since they kicked you out. Yeah, well, they never invited me back, but they should. Anyway, so in 2012, I thought, well, I better get serious again. And so I decided to get serious about social media. I grew my Twitter followers to over 4,000. I grew my Facebook. I did lots of posts on Facebook. I redid my website. And I took a class from Wayne on LinkedIn. Actually, I think I've been to his class 3 times in person. And and he registered for this. So if you're on here, leave a comment. That would be great. And also, one of my friends from Turkey said he was going to come, and I hope you did. I hope we're gonna hear from you. So anyway, in 2012, I got serious, and you can see I put up, 400 connections. I took the bags of business cards and I keyed them in, and, got in trouble for inviting too many people. And but then I got another client. I got complacent, and you can see I didn't put up very many. After 15 years, I only had 1,500 connections. Maybe no one likes me. That's always possible. But now in 2018, you can see that I put up just so far this year 2,500. So it's dramatically better. This is probably the most important slide. It's like crazy dramatically better. And again, if you want to be an industry influencer, there's a lot of things you can do. Um, Lois Geller, she has some of the best articles on Forbes, if you ask me. And she wrote for about, I think, a year and a half. And the first article she posted got 4,000 views or something. They must have promoted her. The same thing happened to me with LinkedIn. I got about 2,000 views the very first article I put up. But as she went on, fewer and fewer and fewer views. And I don't think that's because the articles it's hard to get traction on Twitter, even with thousands of followers. And so, LinkedIn, you can at least take a little bit of control. And it's especially, I just got a note down here. I'm not supposed to watch these things. My son says, look at the camera. It just says encoder overloaded. Consider something or other. I don't know what that means. Encoder overloaded. Oh, great. Well, I hope you see me, because I turned everything off to try to make it work. I can see me, and I'm not sure what's going on out there. This is the most incredible world, because you just sit in here in this apartment with Wi-Fi, and maybe the world is seeing it, and maybe not. We'll see. Anyway, so you can take control with LinkedIn, and you can go after a market, and you really can. And so I built a class anyway. I didn't mean to, but I had already invested in class building software that I have I have another class up there that's much more elaborate. It's like 42 hours of instruction. It's like a full year graduate level course on. It's for entrepreneurs who are sick of what they're doing. Everybody's excited in the startup, and there's literally thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of books on how to do startups and how to write your first business plan and all that. But what do you do when you're about 10 years in and you went up really good, and then, now it's been flat for a couple of years. You're not enthusiastic. No one wants to invest in you. No one wants to give you any more money, and you just don't know what to do. That's when I usually get hired, okay? I've been hired by dozens and dozens and dozens of companies that just went flat. And so I tried to package. This isn't supposed to be a commercial for that, but I tried to package that. Anyway, so this is an elaborate course with assignments and all this stuff. And so I already knew how to do a class. So I just decided to whip a class together for this thing. And instead of that extreme thing, that's $3,000. Instead of that extreme one, this one's 150, and it's just about, I think it's 5 videos, and it talks about how I dramatically have increased my LinkedIn, and I've used it now 4 times, and it's just really amazing. Just, yes, I send out a lot of invitations. I send them out a specific way for a specific thing, but I've gotten like 30% response. And because I have so many now, I am getting presidents of companies and CEOs, CFOs, CMOs, high-level people that are much more willing to engage than the down low people that are just marketing people who are too busy and overwhelmed. So it's really been interesting. It's a real shocker. So anyway, I just put together 5 videos. I give examples of how to do invitations. I give examples of how to dress up your profile a little. And it's pretty basic stuff. I mean, if you've never written an article, here you get a freebie. If you've never written an article on LinkedIn, write one. How hard is that? Some of the things that are called articles, like 5 points. 5 points on working with difficult people. 5, how to manage difficult people. How to build a marketing database. 5 tips on marketing database, or 5 tips on managing your inventory, or whatever the heck it is you've done for the last few years. Just put something up, because then, it just fills out your profile in a huge way. There's almost nobody who does it. It's a great idea. Okay. So I talk about, how to dress up your profile a little bit, how to send follow-up messages. I have this little note. I use Windows Notepad, notebook, whatever the littlest one is, that little note thing. And I just have a whole bunch of messages in there. And so when I get different kinds of responses. Sometimes I get invitations from LinkedIn people that I've never heard of before. And so I have a little "how did you find me" message, and I cut and paste it. And I just keep it up all the time because, I mean, who needs a CRM? just one sentence, paste. It's easy. And if you get a bunch of them, you can paste them all at the same time. So when I get 200, I say hi to everybody. And I tell them about a latest article, or I tell them about how to keep informed if we're going to have another meetup in the area. It's really simple. My encoder's overloaded again. Okay, so a little bit on profile for your company. But the point is that I've taken years of experience and boiled it down to a little more, over an hour. That's really good. That's more valuable, I think, than it is to buy, yeah, you can buy a book for $15, but it's going to take you 10, 15, 20 hours to read the book. Okay, this is like an hour. It's really, really easy. I've really boiled it down for you. So if you like that, I'm that kind of guy. I'd rather watch a YouTube video than read a book these days. It's terrible. I have the attention span of a goldfish. Another thing about it is I've seen lots of great tools that require you to do LinkedIn Premium. And I'm not sure, for most people, I'm not sure LinkedIn's worth $50 a month, to be honest, unless you have a way to monetize it, So the reason I got so energized was because I signed up for the 30-day trial and I thought, oh, I better do something. But unfortunately, it was over the holidays, and so I didn't do much. To be honest, I didn't. I put like 1 or 2 days of actual effort into this. It wasn't much. And boiling down the hours, it was, a handful, 4 or 5 hours maybe of inviting and figuring this stuff out. So anyway, I already covered this stuff. It's great. So the class is $150, but I put in a coupon code for, I think it expires tomorrow. I mean, there is an expiration, so don't wait. And it's MMI 1808. Okay. Now, it could be MMI 1809 next month. We don't know. I'm sure I'll have some more. It's not like I'll never have another live video, but this one is good for today and tomorrow, and I think you should sign up because, I can save you hundreds of hours, and we can double, triple, quadruple. I've almost quadrupled from 1,500 in a couple of months. And what I've been doing, I have images, but I didn't show them to you, is when I do this, it goes way up, and then when it goes down, I let it go a little longer, and then I do another one. And so, it's not annoying people. And LinkedIn resets my invitations after a while, although you can do that, and that's in the class how to do it. But in addition, special offer number 2, here's a link, J.M/15 call. There's a link, copy it down, or write to me later, john@issm.org or john@wdma.org or whatever. I'm easy to find. I'm connected with you, or you wouldn't know about this. So anyway, JMP, and we'll have a call. But I want you to do the course first, okay? Because the problem with most calls on LinkedIn is we don't know where we're coming from. So this is, watch the course, even try it out a little bit if you want. Watch the course, and then we'll talk. And I get plenty of money per hour, so this is a great deal. It's worth the $150 just for the call. But if you do this, we can work on it together, and I can look at your profile, and we can talk about how to make it work for you. Okay, so I think that's about it for the promo. To find the course, to sign up for the course, you go to issm.org. That's all you need, issm.org. And there's an article right there when you get on there. And at the bottom of it is the link for the course, but you can read through the article. It's not bad. It's a short article. Or you can look at the drop-down menu, and it says courses, and the very first one listed is LinkedIn course. You can click on that to register. Not hard. Made it really easy, but there's no landing pages. There's no, there's no rigmarole, and I don't think there's a pop-up. Get your email. There might be. I'm not sure. Not 100% sure. So put down the phone. No, put down, if you're watching it on the phone, put down your phone and go over to issm.org, and I will attempt to put that link in. But sometimes it takes a while to get these videos off of LinkedIn and edited back. But hopefully today it wasn't so terrible. Anyway, well, I've been live for 30 minutes, although most of it was chit chat in the beginning. Click the link, sign up for the course. Let's start working together on this, and let's just explode your connections like I did mine. That's all I'm talking about. I'm talking about doing what I did, and it's not that hard, and it's a lot of fun. So here we go. Stop streaming. Have a great day. It's John from Minnesota. Bye-bye.